Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we simplify the lives of our families that are thinking about going to college. Today, we are going to be talking about our seniors. This is it. They're ready to get to the goal line, Bobby. And by the way, this is
That's right.
Bobby Good.
I,
And I am Kristin Clark. I work with students to figure out a career path. So, Bobby, senior year.
yeah, it seems like now you'd be done with everything, right? But there's so much stuff like going on in school, and you're trying to wrap everything up, trying to avoid senioritis, right? But you've got decisions to make.
You do. And by the way, we have all of these to-do items listed on our college planning timeline. I'm going to throw
Yeah.
those into the comments now so that you can download this. Even for parents of seniors, I'm sorry to tell you, you still have, some things you need to do. So,
Yeah.
and on our timeline, by the way, we break these to-do items down into things that your teen should be exploring, just really smart things for them to do that maybe nobody else is telling them. And then we've got the tactical things that you need to just knock off your list. So, just know that we've got them separated so that you kind of know the priority of these. And the very first thing on our list is, and it's an explore item, is prioritizing their career path ideas and
Right.
they can figure out a major.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're picking a college and you haven't figured out your major yet, you're behind the game, right? Like, because if you suddenly decide over the summer that you want to be in a major that your college doesn't provide or doesn't specialize in, you might then be suddenly like thinking about changing. And that's how things can lead into spending 5 or 6 years in college, right?
Right, because we're kind of getting down into crunch time on that, Bobby.
Mhm.
March and April is when most of the colleges will reach out to you.
Absolutely right. So decision day is coming up, and there's a whole bunch that happens then as well, right? Because you're sitting there thinking about all the, thinking about prom and all these things, right? But you've got to be looking forward to the fall. You've got to, right? You've got to, like, I know a big thing that people sometimes forget to do is to act on, paying for housing, paying for your, like getting a reservation. You can find yourself not in the dorm you want to be in, or not, not getting parking if you're going to have a car there, right? You have to reserve all that stuff, pay for it now.
Yes. So once you declare and you say, I'm going to go to this college,
Mhm.
find those dates out like yesterday, find them out. When do you need to sign up for housing? All of that good stuff. And another one, Bobby, I will tell you, we learned this with my older son, is
Mhm.
my husband was like, you better start looking at if you want to get into a fraternity, you better start looking at it because they're having events and different things right
Absolutely.
now coming.
Right. The Greek system will already be starting its recruiting process. Yeah.
They are. And if that's something that your son or daughter is interested in, get it going on. And I know for girls, they've probably been working on this already for a
Right.
while. But for the guys, don't forget that this does start a little bit earlier and depending on what school you go to as well. So for my
Absolutely.
son, he thought my husband was an idiot. And he's like, you so don't know what you're talking about. He got behind the 8 ball and it didn't go well. So, get ahead
Yeah.
of that. Also, if you get a chance, once your son or daughter decides, yes, I'm going to sign on the dotted line, that's the college that I want to go to. If you can get a chance to go out and visit the school now that they
Oh, yeah.
know they're going to be there, it's a whole different experience.
Oh, absolutely. Especially because, I mean, whoever brings you on a tour might end up being a friend of yours. Like that happened with me. Like I would give people tours, and then the next year I'd see them on campus. We would be friends, like, and just go and hang out in the lunchroom, hang out wherever, like look at things and just walking on campus, just like will happen when you're there for real. When you're visiting, if you hang out, if you meet someone, yeah, they're going to be there next year, right? So
Right. And
that's such a leg up.
it is. And I'll tell you, Bobby, it's funny you mentioned that because there were a couple kids that were on, that we met also during that time frame where my son did at least, like you said, they see him on campus and they feel like they at least go, oh, hey, I know him.
Hmm.
Whether you end up being friends or not, it's a nice comfort to think, oh, there's a familiar face.
Well, also, yeah, and people who are actually on the tour with you. I remember going on a tour of TCU, and then some of the people who were on that tour were there in school the next year, and we were friends. Yeah, like so
Yeah.
that's
Um,
important.
The other thing that we like to make sure that parents are aware of is the schools that your son or daughter decides they don't want to go to.
Hmm.
It's just smart to let them know that they're a no.
Oh gosh, that is a huge thing. And yeah, I'm sure that very few people remember to do that. And that, yeah, like make the choice and inform all the schools. Yeah, that just, it helps everyone else, it helps release spaces for like
Other
people who
people
are on
that,
waiting lists. Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Check your mail and email for admissions decisions and scholarships. Okay, so the scholarship
Right.
piece, that's big too. Did you get the scholarship you were looking for? All the good stuff. But hey, listen, most teens don't like to go to email.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta tell them to check it. Absolutely. Yeah. And that is part of the thing is, I mean, like, you may have two colleges that you'd be happy with, and one of them gives you a financial aid package, the other doesn't, or whatever. It is perfectly reasonable to call up the school that didn't give you the package you want and say, hey, I got this package, this other school, like just like you talked about with people getting, like saying no and releasing, scholarships free up too when students say no to them and go to other schools. So you can ask and they can say, oh yeah, we've had some stuff free up. We can redo your financial package. Like it can happen. So don't be afraid to have that conversation once you're accepted.
That was probably one of the most important things I think we're going to say right now is
Yeah.
when it comes to the financial side. So that's huge.
Yeah.
So we've got take AP exams, finish enrollment papers. I mean, you pretty much, that happens at school, but just know that's happening and kids
Right.
need to focus on that. Bobby, because we know this semester is hell, right?
Yeah.
Not only for parents, because
Mhm.
by the way, your kids are going to be just in a mood. And
Right.
I've always had people tell me, they're like, God plans this on purpose so that you will feel good about getting them out of the house.
Right.
But there is a lot of emotion going on. They're scared, but they're excited. And they've got, like you said, the dances and the end of school banquets, and they can't wait to get the hell out of Dodge. There's so
Right.
much going on. Keep that in mind as parents. And, then add those AP exams on top of that. And it's just, it really is a lot,
Yeah.
and these kids are half checked out and half not. So any grace that you can give them at this point, give them a little bit of grace. The other thing that we talked about is declaring their major. So
Right.
we talked about it when we first started out, but they don't let them kick that can
Right.
down to the month before or a year after they start college.
Yeah. And that's when they should consider signing up, like working with you one-on-one, working in one of your classes. If you aren't sure what major you want to be in, you've got now till the fall, but you need to do it as soon as you can. And if you're not sure, that is a thing that you can explore. You can help students figure that out. That's what you specialize in. And my students who've done it have found it really valuable. So
Yeah,
and you can walk into college knowing what you want to do.
and let's talk about the importance of that, Bobby. It's taking kids 5.5 years to get a 4-year degree on average.
On
So
average.
if you're okay with that as a parent, let them figure it out as they go. And hey, it's a family decision. And I appreciate that. If money is a concern and you're like, no, the 4 years, that's kind of what we're gunning for. The more prepared they are walking in to understand why they're there and what they're trying to get accomplished, they've got a much better chance on getting out in that 4 years.
Well, it's easy for parents to forget because back when we went to school, like you could kind of do that and still make it out in 4 years, but that is not how it works anymore. You've got to be working toward your degree from day one the whole way, or else you're going to accidentally end up spending 5.5 years on average, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really easy to miss that. You can't change majors 3 times anymore,
Well, not get out on time.
Well, no, right. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, but
You
right,
can do it.
You can't just do it and walk out in 4 years like we did. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and one other thing that's different from when we were going to school, Bobby, too, is just the whole mental health that is happening with our kids today, and how more escalated it is. So I want parents to also understand, if you have a child that's already kind of struggling with some depression or anxiety, walking in with this decision and this clarity is going to mean the world to them. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. And then this one is huge. We kind of talked about the Greek system, but also having them sign up for college activities.
Oh, right. Find groups that you want to join and know what groups you're interested in joining before you walk in. Don't just go to that fair or skip it when you arrive. Yeah.
And it's huge. And I think it's easy for kids when they're walking on the college campus to just to it's overwhelming. Let's face it, it's overwhelming. If you prep them with when you step on campus, your whole first week and second week, your main priority is to meet people. That is all you need to worry about besides getting to class and eating and sleeping and taking care of yourself.
Oh man, if you miss that, yeah, you're so behind because everybody's already made friends. They've created friend groups and cliques and stuff, and yeah, now you're outside of everything. Yeah, that's so important.
You know, Bobby, I'm gonna make sure to, if you'll keep talking, I'm gonna put into the chat that download that I have that helps with how to do that. Okay.
Oh,
so
absolutely. Right. Because no, that, well, I mean, that is, I mean, I remember when I first, started that, like, there were some people who are like, oh, it's like uncool to go to the meet and greet activities, like the first couple of weeks. And, and they're like, no, we'll just hang out in the dorm or whatever. And I think I did skip one of them. And it was like, man, I absolutely wish that I had gone to one of those as well, and yeah, it's essential. And I think for me, it was like, I was just lucky to be in the Greek system to be able to meet people that way, but you've got to get out and meet people at the beginning.
Yes. And what this is it's what to do, while you're at college so that you know that you're being successful. And I included on there, Bobby, a trick for freshmen, especially if you've got a freshman that is a little bit quiet, to get together with their roommate and do the Post-it notes where I see them rolling on your face. Have them just write out Post-it notes and say, hey, we're going to a movie on Tuesday night at 7, meet us at our room. And I guarantee you they will have takers. And if they don't, who cares, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a non-confrontational or an easier way to go, okay, people are also trying to meet people. So
yeah, absolutely. Just stick those notes on everybody's doors and see what happens. Yeah, absolutely. It's just, if you're more of an introvert, like, that's a great way to meet people and find people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in. For sure.
Yes. Yeah. And then the last thing that we have is send your final high school transcript. Bobby, I don't remember on this one. Does the school send it automatically or do you physically have to do it? Do you know?
It depends on how much your school will do it. But no, somebody's got to click that button. I think you have to go, it goes along with the paying that $5 to get your diploma or whatever it is, right? Like you have to actually be the one to say, okay, now send it, right? And you just tell them where to send it and all that, because otherwise you're just going to have to be trying to do it during the summer when this high school's closed down and it's a big pain. Yeah, so just make sure to get that done.
So get her done. And again, all of this information is on our college planning download or on the college planning timeline. So, and if you have any questions, Bobby is awesome about taking calls and helping people through this, as am I. So, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love helping families through this process. And then also, telling you a little bit about what we do with Bobby and helping students with their ACT and SAT prep. If you've got younger people in your family, take advantage of him as well.
Absolutely. All right. Good talk. I'll talk to you next week.